So, ladies and gentlemen, we always talk about the Night Gallery series with the problems they had with their shorter episodes or segments of the NBC TV program. Now, I'm going to talk about the short segments, but for me, it wasn't too long, wasn't too short. It was just right. Now, The Devil Is Not Mocked is a segment from the interesting second season of Night Gallery with actor Francis Lederer playing the main role. What was kind of bizarre here is that the person in question, although you don't know right away in the episode he played, he was Count Dracula. He did play Count Dracula in a very, very underrated Dracula movie called The Return of Dracula. Now, the episode is bookended by an elderly count telling his grandson what he did in the Great War. The story then shifts to the time during the war when we find out a group of SS soldiers led by a General von Grun go to a castle in search of partisans. Rather than the armed conflict they expect, they were met by a well-dressed man, again played by Vetterer, who welcomes them into his home. The castle was searched and nothing was found, though the general believed the partisans were probably in hidden tunnels below the castle, which plays a lot on the Vichy legends and various subplots of different movies where people are partisans and are found out, or they continue to be partisans after it's found out. And Glorious Bastards kind of talked about it a little bit in the opening Shoshan, a scene where the French farmer who was trying to protect his fellow Jewish neighbors, the fellow farmers, gives in to Officer Landa. Anyway, that's another podcast altogether. Now, in the segment, there was a dinner laid out, which the count insists is for the general's supper. They were expected, of course, while the servants entertain his men. The count does not partake because you can pretty well let on, Dracula doesn't eat food. And he insisted, when it kind of playing on thick, he would eat after midnight. As the night progresses, the general talks with the count, telling about Germany's plans for his homeland. And when the hour of midnight strikes, the occupants of the castle turn on the Germans and begin to slaughter them. Gunfire is heard, but proves to be useless. The count approaches the general, bearing fanged teeth. As he is about to kill the general, he tells him that the castle is the headquarters of the secret resistance, and I am his proud commander, Count Dracula. Now, this information I took from the DraculaFandom.com site, very interesting. But for me, the segment works because a lot of levels. Because they're playing a card, Night Gallery said, as bad as Count Dracula is or was, people think he's a real person. It was nothing compared with the evil of the Nazis. The Nazis were destroying, millions of people, while Dracula, according to a lot of people, did it out of a heartbreak over a woman, and basically needed to have blood to survive. He didn't overeat, as we say. So literally, the lesser of two evils. But why this really works, Lederer plays Dracula with almost like a European countenance, sort of like Jonathan Frid's Barnabas Collins on Dark Shadows. His performance is probably one of the better Draculas maybe you haven't seen. You look at Christopher Lee with the bloodshot eyes over the top. You look at Frank Langella, again, the romantic version. You look at Gary Oldman, the punk stone version of Bram Stoker's Dracula. If you like your Dracula with a little bit of, white bread, and you can really understand what it is. But to be Dracula, you gotta look like Dracula. In this case, again, Francis Lederer, I did see him in The Return of Dracula years later, and like I said, he had a good performance. He was almost like Bela Lugosi, but with kind of I don't know, an Austrian or German French look, like the combination. Quite interesting episode. But like I said, within the Night Gallery, all the different segments have value if taken in perspective, even third season, which is terrible. And one of my colleagues from the Runsing Independent Authors Association, Scott Skelton, who actually wrote, will be a second major book on the Night Gallery legacy, basically said this was probably the best vampire segment of Night Gallery, but he said compared to what came before, the Leslie Nielsen, not the Leslie Nielsen, but the previous ones, this was, the best. It is what it is. And, the supporting performances are strong too. The people who are playing the Nazis, They didn't. It wasn't a far stretch. But when I saw Glorious Bastards for the first time, I said, how much of it was Tarantino influenced by this episode? It'd be interesting to see because he played the Germans in Glorious Bastards as being totally evil, totally egotistical, and somewhat stupid, which are the SS reps in this. Like, how could you not know this could be Count Dracula? Come on. What the fact is that you know, there's not a mirror close by you can pass, and if it doesn't give an reflection, all you have to do is hold up a mirror, get one of the the Grubenführers to hold up the mirror. Anyway, I give this 3 stars out of 5. It is what it is. It's not too bad. It's not good. It's just right. So on this COVID Wednesday in New Brunswick, we're still for trying to figure out what's going on in the Campton region. We should be safe. Wash your hands, especially 30 seconds, and maybe hum the theme of Night Gallery while you do it. Have a good day. Bye.